Hello and welcome back to Logic Language Learning. Now for this video, which is going to be talking about compound tenses which fit together in a pair. So we previously talked about if I did this, I would do this, etc. Now what we're looking at, if I had done this, I would have done this. Okay, so we're looking at slight variations. So obviously for this video you need to be pretty familiar with how to use the had tense. Now by had I don't mean I had, I mean had as the middle word. I had spoken. Had as the auxiliary. This is called the plus que parfait, the pluperfect. So do please make sure you've had a look at that video with both avoir and être in the middle. So I have eaten, j'ai mangé. I had eaten, j'avais mangé. Remember we're putting the middle one in the was. I went, je suis allé. I had gone, j'étais allé, etc. Okay? Also make sure you are comfortable with the conditional past. So where we're going to still use our 1, 2, 3, we're still going to keep 1 and 3 the same. So for example, I ate, j'ai mangé, we're going to keep je and mangé in the same way that we do with I had eaten. So je mangeais, j'ai mangé, j'avais mangé, yeah. I will have, or I would have eaten, j'aurais mangé. So we're talking about changing the tense of the middle verb, the auxiliary verb, into different tenses to give you compound tenses. So quick reminder, have a look at the video on this. One more, he has danced, il a dansé. He had danced, il avait dansé. We're keeping il and dansé. He would have danced, il aurait dansé. So to be brutally honest with you, you can practice all you like with other verbs in these two tenses, but the main things you need to know for this video are to be very comfortable with the verb have and be in the imperfect, because that's going to go in the middle. So j'avais something, avait, avions, avait, avions, aviez, avaient, or être, était, était, étais, étions, étiez, étaient. And to be comfortable with those two tenses in the conditional, like we've already talked about on that previous video. So j'aurais, tu aurais, il aurait, nous aurions, vous auriez, ils auraient, or je serais, tu serais, il serait, nous serions, vous seriez, ils seraient. So really they're quite easy, because for all of those you're just going to be using the same stem. Était, était, avait, avait, and all the rest. Serais and all the rest. Aurait and all the rest. Okay, so let's crack on. So we were previously talking about the pairing, the beautiful pairing of the was tense and the would tense. So we were saying, if I could do this, I would do this. And we said that if you followed the if word, you went straight to the was tense, the imperfect tense, not your action past. So if I spoke French, I would live in Paris. Si je parlais français, j'habiterais à Paris. Okay, so we're going from the was tense to the would tense. Now, notice how in this combination of if you'd have done this, we often use a past. We often go further back. We talk about actions we've already done and how we'd possibly change them. So for example, if I had known she was French, I would have practiced, said Elizabeth. Okay? Or if I had gone to school, I would have learned the secret. Okay? So that was a very weird example. So the point is, you often have this in other tenses. So let's just analyse what is what again, which is which. So if I had gone, let's ditch the if. Let's just literally do a sentence, I had gone. Je suis allé is what? I went. A pluperfect, I had gone, had in the middle, not I had, that's a different thing with the verb to have. If I had gone, so je suis allé, which verb is in the middle? Être, good, it's a movement verb. To make it a had in the middle verb, what do? We put the whole middle verb in the was. Yeah, so j'étais allé, si j'étais allé. If I had gone, si j'étais allé à l'école, okay, I would have discovered the secret, or I would have learnt the secret. So now let's go over this side. Separate to the combination, I have learnt, j'ai appris. So we're keeping je, yeah, here admittedly with the apostrophe, J apostrophe and the après. We're keeping those together. Okay, I would have learnt. I would have learnt. And all you are going to do, as in the video which explains how to do the conditional past, is stick in the would have. And for have, I need have in the future, or. My future block for have, or. Yep, which covers both will and would. So I would have learnt, j'aurais appris. Okay, so 1 and 3 are staying the same. Now let's do 2 more. I think you've safely had a look at these endings. Okay, so let's get these down. I'm going to be writing some of the examples down. Now they're always underneath. I always provide them underneath, but just this once I think it would be good for you to have a look at this concept of getting rid of the ones in the middle. So this can go. So, if I had known. Now, I had known. Whenever you need to work out I had done something, you need to work out I have done something. And often, let's be very frank, the tense you will hear in I have done something is quite rare because you tend to hear certain things more in the imperfect. So I have known is j'ai su. Yep, but we don't tend to hear that because you tend to hear je savais, yeah, I knew. And there's a video coming up in which I explain how we tend to use the imperfect for certain verbs, and we tend to use the imperfect for the perfect and the imperfect for different verbs. So, I have known, j'ai su, yeah, to know a fact. So ever so simply then, I had known. What am I doing? I'm just changing the middle to the was verb, to the imperfect tense. So 1 stays the same, 2 we get rid of, 3 we keep. If I had known, I would have said something. Okay? So you need to use the two. You can't say if I had known, I would say. It's if I had known, I would have said. Both of these events are in the past. Okay? So I said, normal I said, is going to be j'ai dit. Now, I'm telling you that for both of these parts we need to ditch the 2 and we keep 1 and 3. So I'm going to be keeping je and dit. That's fine, that's going to go. I would have, what's the future block for have? Or. So I would have, j'aurais dit. Now, please note that the ending for the would have as opposed to the will have is AIS. Okay? So, si j'avais su, j'aurais dit. If I'd known, I had said. If I knew, I would say. Yeah? Neither of those have happened yet. Si je savais, je dirais. Was into would. If I had known, I would have said. Si j'avais su, j'aurais dit. Okay, so your 2 combinations are going to be either was and the would, or the pluperfect into the conditional past, the would past. Let's do another example, okay? So,